Junkyard Junkie, back here with another video. Today I'll be showing you how to retime a 2.0 liter from a 2017 Hyundai Elantra. You can do this while it's still in the car, but for a better video explanation, it's easier for me to take it out of the car and show you how to do this. And it's also easier to work on, in my opinion, outside of the car. But the first thing you want to do is go ahead and take off all your accessories. I still got to take off the tensioner and the water pump. Okay, now that I took those off, the rest of this will be a step-by-step tutorial. So first thing we want to do is we want to take out all these 10 millimeters. So you got one there, 2, 3, you got 2 in the middle there. Okay, so once you remove those, you can take this whole thing off. Might have to pry it up a little bit. Should just come right off. Okay, so now's a good time to inspect everything. But this engine actually looks pretty good. It did jump and it has chain slack. If you looked at my shorts, you'll see that. So let's go ahead and take off this front cover here. To do that, you'll have bolts all the way around it that you're going to have to take off. So let's go ahead and start doing that. Okay, so we're going to take out all these spark plugs. They're 5/8. Okay, so next up we need to get this to TDC. Now right here we have 3 lines. This one on the right is where we want to line our markup with. If you look around the wheel here, there's a little spot right there, a little indent. It's a little hard to see on the camera. Maybe you can see that. And we're going to use a 22 millimeter to turn it. Okay, so now I would normally stick a screwdriver or an extension into the cylinder through the spark plug tube. That would give you a better representation of where the piston's at, but really you don't need this with this. I'll show you how the cams look afterwards. So we're just going to turn this. Here's our little notch. Line it up. Just like that. Okay, so coming down here, we can see that our little notch right there is lined up with this third one. So we're at top dead center. We can also verify our cam lobes are going up and they're not actually pushing the valves down. So we're good to go. Okay, so we're going to take off the 14 millimeters first. Now coming from the other side, we got this one. The rest are 12. We need to take off the crankshaft pulley real quick. Okay, so now we're just going to use our impact gun to pull this pulley off. So we're going to counter hold the crankshaft. There we go. If you're wondering where I was counter holding out, it's got little flats right there so you can get an adjustable or a wrench. Okay, so this is a keyed crankshaft, so you don't have to worry about it. Just pull it off. Now we're going to take the rest of these bolts off. Got two up here. Now we still have one right here and one right here. So this one's a 14, and this one should be a 10. Okay, so we have some 10 millimeters down here up underneath that connect the oil pan to the timing chain cover. Got one here. Now we got two more. Now then, the timing cover should come on off. There we go. Okay, so real quick, if we look at the timing marks on our cam gears, we got one right here and then one right here. Both of these should be even with the cylinder head, and they're not, so clearly this has jump time. Okay, so now we're going to start taking everything apart. So first we'll take this apart. This is our timing chain guide. Come off. Take our chain off. Take our other timing chain guide off. All these were 12 millimeter. Now for our actual tensioner itself, these are 10 millimeter. Okay, with the new chain on the left and the old one on the right, we're going to look and see if there's any chain slack. As you can see, there's just a little bit, not too bad. Okay, so I have 2 wrenches on those flats. Now then, we're going to align these up, and I'm going to have someone hold them there for me because they will not want to stay where they're at. So let me get it on there and I'll show you. Okay, so we're going to turn this one where that line is parallel with the engine head. About right there. And then this one will meet up with it. So it's got to go a little bit further, about like that. Okay, so we're going to put our chain on now. This is so much easier with another person, so thank you, my assistant. Both those line up with the dots. Now we need to put it around the crankshaft. Okay, so now that we have those lines lined up, we come down here, we look there, it's lined up. So now we're going to put our guides on. Go ahead and take our new guide for this side, put it on here. We'll torque it down in just a minute. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our other guide on. So that's just going to line up there. Okay, so we're going to go to 15 foot-pounds on these two guides. There we go. Okay, so now we're just going to put our tensioner back up here. Okay, so we're going to 8.8 foot-pounds. There we go. Now we're going to do our final inspection, and then we're going to pull the pin. Pulling the pin is always my favorite part. So we're lined up here, we're lined up here. Let's make sure we're lined up at the crankshaft. Okay, here comes my favorite part. We pull the grenade, locks it right into place. Now we just make sure we're all in time, and we are, so that's good. Okay, so after you do all that, you want to go for 2 revolutions and make sure everything stays in time. Now this is something that threw me for a loop, so it'd probably throw you for a loop. But I have re-verified that this is correct with a Hyundai specialist. But as you can see here, we're still in time, but our links no longer line up. When you're turning it over, you're going to see this tensioner, it's going to go in and out because there's no ratcheting mechanism on there. I find this super strange. I think it's a horrible design, but the Hyundai specialist said that it was normal and that these links will never line up again. The main thing to look for, and all data actually says that too, I'll throw that up on screen now. But all data says that you want to make sure that your sprockets line up with the head, which, as you can see, they do. So this thing's in time. I don't like that it jumps, because as this is turning around, you will see this jump, but the actual sprocket itself doesn't turn and it stays in time. So that's something to be aware of. I would love to hear more information on this. So if you can, write it down there in the comments. But if you're a Hyundai specialist and you work on these all the time and you can give us more information, please do. I will pin your comment to the top so everybody can see it, because I find this to be very strange how they are okay and how this is acceptable for it to do this, when they could just use a ratcheting tensioner and then it would keep tension. Because if you hold tension, that chain will never jump. And I do understand that once the engine's going, oil will get fed to the tensioner and then that will alleviate that slack. But still, I think this is a poor design, but I would love to be corrected. Anyways, I'm gonna spin it over now. That way you can see that after 2 revolutions, it'll line right back up. But you will also get a chance to see the chain doing what it does. And the tensioner, check it out. All right, we're coming up, and right there, we're in time. And looking back up here, these line up, so it is staying in time. When I'm done, I'll also do a leak down test just to verify, but we're good to go. Now then, the next thing you want to do is clean up all of this surface here. Clean it all the way around I'm about to do all this, do the same thing to the cover itself. And then you want between the cam carrier right here and the cylinder head, you're going to put a bead across here and a bead over on this side. And then where the head meets the engine block, right here, you'll put a bead. You'll put another bead right there. And I'll throw that up on screen right now. And then you'll put a bead all the way around, like in this picture right here. Okay, so here's all your bolts and the tightening torque that goes along with them. Once you're done with that, all you gotta do is put your timing cover back on and let it sit up, and that's really all there is to it. And that's gonna do it for this video. Now, if you found this video helpful, please leave me a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.